You guys, who said 9.9?
Me.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Why is that 9.9 out of 10?
Because it's not the best thing I do all week.
It's not. What's the best thing you do all week?
Not having school on the weekends.
There you go. So he started clapping, he was like, yeah. You got no chocolate chip muffin? That's all right.
Come behind you.
I don't know. I can't talk to you like and be niggling. I'll have one after, would you like? So, have I been introduced already? What do you know about me?
You're a basketball player that played in the NBA.
Well, I'm not NBA, I wish.
Well, Hannah said you played. Hannah said you played in America.
I have. I can't believe. Do I sound like I'm from Salford? Yeah.
I'm from Salford.
I'm from Birmingham, I am. That's unbelievable.
You're born in the same place as
I'm
Belgium.
from Birmingham. Sound like I'm West London. Oh my god, my accent. People in my city are not going to pay me. This isn't good. So, my name's Kofi Josephs. I am a professional basketball player. I played for England and Great Britain. I'm also a full-time model. I've modelled for like some of the biggest brands in the world. For London Fashion Week, Rolls Royce, Louis Vuitton, all sorts of brands. And I'm also a mental health advocate. So I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about mental health. So what do you guys know about mental health? What do you know?
I know that Rashford promotes it.
Yeah, he does. What does he promote?
He does that when he scores a goal, which symbolises mental health.
All right then. What about you guys? What do you know about mental health?
About where emotions and like depression and stuff like that.
What do you know about depression? Anything?
Basically where you have loads of like upsets in your life and you don't like want to live all the time.
What about you guys? Anything else about mental health? What do you know? There's no wrong answer. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You're gonna give me an answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
Right, it's... Oh God, what is it?
Could you say it's your feelings? Could just be your feelings. So, I'm from Birmingham, not West London, not Salford. I live in Salford, but yeah. And my upbringing was a challenging one. So, I didn't like basketball. For you guys who thought, oh my God, he must have been tall when he came out of his mother. He was just destined for it. Nah.
Yeah, you just had a massive growth spurt in
I used to be tiny, so I wasn't into basketball. I wasn't really into anything. I used to swim for my region. I did martial arts. I did kung fu and I was a brown belt. I did everything for like 2 years at a time. Once I got good, after 2 years, I was just done, didn't really care. And then one of my friends, Reese, he introduced me to basketball. He had a basketball, he liked to play. And then unfortunately, Reese died. How old are you guys?
13.
12. So you're like 12 to 15?
So about 14.
On average. So when I was 10, 11, my friend Reese, he started having epileptic fits. Does any of you guys know what fits are?
Yeah, what seizures?
Yeah, there we go. So I was out one day with Reese, he had a fit, seizure, I'm like 10, 11, didn't know anything about it. I was just like, what the hell? We ended up getting help, went away in the ambulance. He was all right. Then for months after that, he started having more and more fits as he was outside playing. And we just thought he would have a fit and he'd be fine. One day, I saw Reese's mum and sister. I knocked on his door. They were like, oh, we're just going out, just gonna go shopping. Reese is inside, not for him later on, everything will be cool. I'm like, all right, fine, not a problem. Reese locked himself in the bathroom, must have been in the bathroom doing whatever, just getting ready for the day. Had an epileptic fit, had a seizure, hit his head, died. Now that was the first time anyone in my life had died. I didn't know how to handle it. In my head, you wake up, your friends are around, it is what it is, do you know what I mean? Now at that age, I was just like, what do you mean he's dead? He hasn't been killed. If in my head, it's older people that die, not like 12, 13-year-olds, do you know what I mean? And I didn't know how to handle my emotions. My mom took me to his funeral and she was like, do you want to see your friend? He had an open casket. I wasn't quite sure, I didn't know how I felt. I was like, I want to go because I want to see my friend. I don't want to go because I don't want to see my friend like this. Like, I don't know how to handle my emotions. That was one of the first things that really had me confused with myself. I didn't know how to feel and I was just going through emotions. Went down there, saw him. In the corner of his casket was a little basketball pillow. And it's funny because Reece used to go everywhere with a basketball. Sometimes he'd have skateboard, sometimes he'd have a basketball, sometimes he'd have football. But he'd pass me the basketball and I'd be like, what am I going to do with this? Give it back to him. Wasn't interested in basketball for months. I wasn't really interested in anything. I was just doing what I wanted. I was at school. And the thing at school was I was in gifted and talented for every single thing. Do you guys have gifted and talented at school? What is the gifted and talented program? What is that? Since you got it at school, what is it?
It's like people that are really smart at that type of subject.
Exactly. Now I was gifted and talented for every single subject, but I got kicked out of every single subject. My behaviour was bad. I was talking back to teachers. I was slamming doors. I was running my mouth. I was doing all sorts of stuff. There was a guy at my school. His name was Mr. Thompson. He was my height, 6'5", tall, gentle giant. He saw me kicked out of class one day. He came up to me and he was like, "What happened?" Before that, every single time I got in trouble, it was, "What did you do? What did you do?" It was always people attacking me. Meanwhile, I'm like 10, 11, 12. I didn't really know how to regulate my emotions, my feelings. I didn't talk to anybody. And then from there, he put a basketball in my hands. And I didn't know what to do with it. It gave me flashbacks of Reece. He gave me a basketball and I was like, I'm just not interested. So I was about to volley it over the school fence. He was like, "Nah, just throw it." I've thrown it. It's hit the back of the backboard and it's went in. He's grabbed the ball, he's passed it back to me. He said, "Do that again." Throwing off the backboard, it's gone in. He's like, "Now what happens?" Now he's talking to me as I'm doing the same thing over and over again about what happened in class, how do I feel, this, that and the other. By the time the end of the playtime was done, I've gone into class and I'm thinking to myself, I feel a little bit better now. I don't know what Mr. Thompson saw in me, but every single playtime I'm talking, break time, lunchtime, he had a basketball and he would say to me, "Let's go shoot." From days it would go from underarm to "This is how you hold a basketball" to "Let me show you some basketball players, let me show you this, that and the other." He started to spark my interest in basketball and I was like, okay, I kind of like this. He contacted my mum one day after school and was like, "Hey, Miss Josephs, Kofi's really good at basketball, he really enjoys it. I'm interested in getting him a team on a Saturday, just somewhere where he has something to do outside of Monday to Friday. I play basketball with him at school, he probably plays basketball outside of school. I think he really can do something with this basketball thing." So I'm like, okay, cool, I've gone there, I've loved it. 2 years have passed now, I'm just playing basketball, just having a blast. Don't really want to do anything with it, I just like basketball. I'm in like year 7 or year 8 and I'm in class and now I'm known as the basketball kid. Everywhere I go there's a basketball. You know them like football guys, like you probably see them, you see him down the road. Before you even see him, you're like, "Oh, there's Charlie." You look, "Oh, he's got football with him." Do you know what I mean? Them guys really love the sport. That was me. Teachers would hear me down the hallway, "Kofi, pick up your basketball." I'm like, "Miss, it's not me." Meanwhile, I'm like this in the hallway. I'm dribbling, trying to put it through teachers' legs, all that type of stuff. Yep, confiscated. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm sneaking into the teacher's office. "Miss, please, I promise. You can have your basketball." 10 minutes later, I'm just dribbling it around, I'm spinning it on my finger, all sorts of stuff. I'm in class, and my teacher says to me, "So, you like basketball?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love basketball." Bear in mind, everyone else is writing, doing their work. I'll finish my work, I'm chilling. I'm looking out the window because I'm like, I just can't wait to go play ball. People are talking about, "Oh, Kofi's trying to go to America, he's going to do this." Now, I had England trials. I got called up to like an England training camp. Went there, was not good enough. I was just like, well, all right, cool. I'm at school, but no one knows about it other than my friends, do you know what I mean? Like my closest friend, my best friend, no one really knew. So I'm like, it's not a big deal, no one can say anything, it is what it is. Teacher says to me, he's like, "What makes you think you can go to America if you can't make the England team?" I'm like, "Huh? What?" He's like, "What makes you think you can go to America if you can't make the England team?" So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm just not going to answer because I actually don't know the answer to this question. I've just got a dream, I got a hope. And for me, it was be the best player in my school. No one else plays basketball in my school, so I'm like, I'm already step 1, I've achieved that. Be the best player in my area, probably know 3 or 4 players that play. In about 2 weeks' time, I guess if I keep playing, I might be better than them. Best player in my city, best player in my region, best player in the country, or one of the best players, and then I guess I'm good enough to go to America. Teachers asked me again, but now I'm like, I think he's asking me, like, really wants a response. Everyone else in the class, they've finished writing, they're looking up now. Because to them, I'm like the best basketball player ever. And I was just like, I don't know, like, why not? What I didn't realise was me saying why not gave me that slight chance of being able to make it. I didn't make the England team under 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19s, under 20s, under 21s, or under 23s. In my head, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make it next year. But as I just said, I didn't make it for like
multiple years now.
Like over a decade, I didn't make it. But every single year, I was like, oh, just next year, just next year, just next year. I ended up getting a scholarship to America. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Even with not making the England team. Time went on while I was in America. I ended up breaking my hip twice. This hip right here, broke it twice. There was one game where I was healthy, everything was fine. I broke it and I was just looking at my leg and I couldn't feel my leg. I was hitting my leg, it was just numb, and I was just thinking, this isn't gonna work. At that point, I thought all my hopes and dreams was done for. I was ready to give up. I was down and out, and I was thinking to myself, I just want to make it pro. I'm damaged goods. I haven't represented my England team, my national team. I've now got a broken hip. I got to have surgery. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but I think I'm just gonna be fine. I'm just gonna keep working. Bear in mind, I'm 3,000 miles away from home with a 7-hour time difference. So all my friends and family back in England, they don't understand. Can't really talk to them. They're not living my life. I did 10 months of rehab. I'm in the pool at 6 a.m. I'm working out at 7 a.m. Going to class, breakfast, back in the training room at midday, going to class, back in the training room again at like 3 till 6 p.m. just trying to get healthy. I did that for about 8-9 months. Everything was fine. I finally had trust again in my hip. I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna make it. Like, all I gotta do is be healthy and I'm fine. Broke my hip again. Now, 10 months rehab. Now I'm depressed because my dreams are just slipping away from me. I'm like, I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, man. Got healthy. Everything was fine. My mindset wasn't fine though, because I'm like, I'm going pro in about 3-4 months. I hate my time in America. I can't really go back home. Don't know if any pro team's gonna want me. Have represented my England team. It's kind of looking pointless. All this has been a sham. The doctor says to me, like 3 months before I turned pro, he's like, hey, I want to check out your hip, see how you're feeling. I'm like, all right, cool, check it out. It weren't feeling too great, but it weren't that bad as it had been. Checked me out. He was like, hey, just want to let you know, if you ever want to be able to play with your kids when you're older, you need to retire, you need to quit basketball now. What? I'm like, you can't be serious. He's like, yeah, you tore your hip again. You haven't broken it, but you tore like the ligament, so it's up to you. And we don't advise going in a hip 3 times. You can either not get the surgery and like use your hip up and do what you need to do, or you can get the surgery and just retire. You'll be able to bend down and play with your kids when you're older. And I had a decision to make. I sat on the edge of the training room and I had tears in my eyes because I'm thinking, you can't be serious, there's no way. I decided to bet on myself. I decided to give myself the chance. I thought to myself, why not? I've come this far, it's been like 13 years, 14 years already. I'm just gonna bet on myself and just stick to my determination. I turned pro. About 6 months later, I played my first year in Germany. So tough. I'm living in a foreign country, people don't speak English, food's different. My teammates don't speak English, it was just a rough time. Then I decided to just stop stressing about everything and start putting my brain on overdrive and thinking about what I want to do, where I want to make it, and just try and enjoy basketball. I started killing. I'm having 38-point games, 40-point games, 49-point games, 51-point games. My name's ringing everywhere now, all over the world. I get a call up from the Great Britain team. They're like, hey Kofi, so yeah, we're selecting you for the GB Eurobasket team. I'm like, alright, cool, amazing. Did that. A year later, I got to a point where my hip was killing me, to a point where I'm like, I don't think I want to play anymore. It's causing me too much stress, too much pain, all that. Probably a week before I was about to call it quits, I got called up to the England's Commonwealth team. So I'm in Australia with the team. I get given my England jersey, and I'm standing there with the coach, and I'm one of the only players on the team that had not represented their country before. And I thought to myself, that teacher, when I was like 10, 11, who had that little comment to say, I wonder what he's thinking now. He's not even going to see it, but like, I don't care. I'm playing on BBC, I'm playing in front of millions, and I'm up there and I'm killing everyone. I'm just balling out, I'm having a blast. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm thinking, bro, I'm so proud of you because you could have not been here. Do you know what I mean? And that just goes to show like determination, wanting to give up and understanding that it's all right to feel down and out. Do you know what I mean? Time went on past there. Basketball's fun, but I've got other dreams and other aspirations. When I was like you guys' age, I used to walk into the night shop and I used to walk in there and I used to like look at all the posters and stuff, and I used to think, I wonder what he thinks when he walks in here and he sees himself. Do you know what I mean? Have you guys ever saw like, you know, you walk into JD Sports and you see like the guy on like the big billboards and the posters and stuff, like they're real people. Have you ever wondered like what do they think when they see themselves like on TV? They're just sitting there watching and he's like flicking and it's like, oh, there's me. Do you know what I mean? I used to think that when I was like you guys' age, but no one ever thought that I could like do modelling or do anything, and not even I thought I could. I got to the highest levels in basketball, won a championship, and I was like, don't really want to do this anymore. I've done everything I want to do, but I feel like there's more to me. There's more than Kofi Josephs, a basketball player. I want to be Kofi that plays basketball. What do I want to do? I want to model. Everyone laughed at me. Everyone told me I was nuts. I'm talking, my mum was even like, hey son, like you've been playing basketball for like 20 years, like even you're a basketball player. What do you mean you want to quit and like start modeling? And it's not like, oh, hey, I want to quit basketball, but I want to start modeling for like London Fashion Week. It was like, oh, I just want to dibble and dabble with modeling. I want to figure out how to do it from the bottom up. Where it's like, to most people, it's like, why would you even bother? Don't start. I didn't listen. I was defiant. I did what I wanted to do. Kept working my way up. There was a time at Boohoo Man, I pressed the buzzer. I wasn't signed, I wasn't a model, I wasn't anything. I pressed the buzzer at Boohoo Man, they let me in. I sweet talk security, he let me in again. Sweet talk reception, they let me in further. I was literally in a room like this with the studios and everything, and I'm in there like, hi, are you a model? yeah, I'm a model. They're thinking, who, like, what are you supposed to? I was just lying, just trying to just see what it's like. Do you know what I mean? You have to put yourself in those situations. I'm not saying lie, but give yourself a chance. Do you know what I mean? No one believed in me. I had long hair, and it was just crazy. My skin was like so much better now. But when I was like you guys' age, I suffered from acne so bad. I'm talking even to when I was like 21, I had like adult acne. I was on a basketball court once, and I'm being interviewed for like BBC. Got these high-def, massive cameras. I'm like all over like the media and press. I'm thinking I don't even want the cameras too close because my skin's just gonna be so, I'm stressed. Hey Kofi, can you come over here for an interview? Hey Kofi, come on for an interview. Yeah, can I do it from here though? Like, nah. A kid said to me, he was probably like your size. He was like, hey sir, hey mister. He's poking me. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Thinking he wants an autograph. He's like, what happened to you? Have you been stung by a bee? I'm like, what? He's like, your face, have you been stung by a bee? Oh, killed me. I was thinking, no way. This is terrible. Fast forward years, I've sorted all that out, and I get scouted in the gym to do modeling. And that was just through me manifesting what I wanted to do. And I was like, for about a year before that, when I weren't playing basketball, I was lost in life, didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just hanging on to that dream of wanting to be something else. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm modeling for some of the biggest brands in the world. I have people asking me for advice, and I just wanted to touch on that because what do you want to be when you're older?
I've already got apprenticeship from being
Love that. What do you want to be when you're older?
Basketball player.
Alright. What do you want to be?
I'm a footy player or something.
What about you?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think it's better.
That's good. Now, you guys might end up that, you might not.
You've got one person.
Yeah?
No idea.
You have no idea. Perfect answer, because that's alright.
Too young to think about that yet.
Do you know what I mean? That's alright. I play basketball for
I
10
am
years,
quite good as a football goalkeeper though.
but then you might be that, but what I would like to say is,
What's my plan B from seeing that?
you might end up achieving your dream. And what I found out was, a lot of people have dreams and they don't make it, so you gotta have a plan B. But the people don't also talk about having a dream and attaining it. What helped me or made me struggle with my mental health was I did actually everything I wanted to do. Everything. And then it was like, what next? What else is there? What do I want to do? Do you know what I mean? And that's when I had to find out about who I am as a person. Instead of putting my whole identity in playing basketball or just modeling or whatever, I had to tap into who am I as a person. And for your guys' mental health, that's super important. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about having aspirations, having dreams, super important, but don't let that drag your mental health down. Do you know what I mean? And if you make it, that's fine. If you don't make it, that's also fine. It's all right to change your mind. It's all right to see something new and learn about that and dibble and dabble about that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just trying to be an example of that. Some of you guys might like me because I'm a big basketball player. There's people out here that don't know play basketball and don't care. They care about it because of a model. Some people don't care about that. They care about me because of mental health. Now, that doesn't make me feel any type of way. That makes me feel better because if I only cared about me as a basketball player, when I retire or I can't play anymore, I can't do anything, where's my self-worth now? Do you know what I mean? And that's why quite a lot of like big football players, and athletes and this, that and the other, they struggle when they're done playing. Because unless you're like David Beckham, if you're like, even if you play on that level but aren't still famous, people aren't stopping you in Asda anymore asking for photography or stopping you asking for autograph. You're just gonna slowly bleed into like being a regular person. And that can like really mess with your mental health. So what I would say for you guys is don't put your self-worth in anything, put your self-worth in you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, just like being your best self, understanding your mindset, understanding mental health, and understanding that it's okay. Do you know what I mean? And just using my story to help display that. So thanks for your time. Anyone have any questions? Any questions? Go on.
So, in like the next like couple of years and months, do you still like see yourself like coming around them and speaking about mental health to people?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that's more like my purpose now. So everything I do, I talk about mental health. When I'm on set modeling, I talk to people about mental health because I'm seeing it in a different light now. I'm seeing people talk about body dysmorphia, being scared to go on set, having imposter syndrome, not knowing if they're any good, thinking they're ugly, like all sorts of stuff. So I'm doing that there. In basketball, I'm talking to people about the same thing of not feeling good enough, not being picked for a team, and like now their whole self-worth is they're not good at basketball anymore. Do you know what I mean? For me, talking to people about mental health is just like going everywhere now. Even coming in here and talking to you guys, you know what I mean? Like super important.
I've got two questions.
Go on then.
One, if you could go back to any moment to change something that you've done in your life, which moment would you go back to?
That's a good question. I used to think I'd go back and change stuff, but then someone said to me, they were like, you might go back and change something, and in your head, it's only going to turn out for the better.
Don't change the path.
It might.
Try and change
It
the
might end
future.
up worse than right now. do
But
know
if
what
you
I mean?
could, which one would you change? Which
Probably
one?
wouldn't change anything.
Try and change
Also,
the
second
future.
question: have you ever done like an ankle breaker to a defender?
Yeah, of course.
Try and talk to me.
On the basketball court,
You'll be able to do that
I
to me.
don't take. I wouldn't do that
I
to
wouldn't
you.
get too cocky, mate.
Might
I'm
come
a super nice guy
He would
here.
probably send you to Africa, mate.
What position did you play?
On the basketball court, like point guard, shoot guard, small forward. So I just go out there and I score. He knows, my videographer, he knows. That's what I'm known for. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Feel free.
What kept you going?
In what stage? Like the whole thing? What kept you
Yeah,
going?
the whole thing.
Boy, I would say I'm so defiant. It's crazy, but like using that defiancy in the right way. Like a lot of times I actually probably, if I was sane, should have quit, but I was so defiant that I had people to prove wrong. But I wanted to prove them wrong. Like the reason for 70% of that time of me making the England team wasn't because I wanted to make the England team and play for England. It was so that that teacher who said I couldn't, I could shove that to him. All the coaches for all those years that didn't pick me, I wanted them to pick me so then I could say no. That's where my mindset was at. But you know what I mean? When that comes down to defiancy of sticking with the program. But obviously what was great about that is by the time I got to being picked for the England team, Kofi would love to pick you. That feeling I had at under 13, oh, thank you, where's my jersey? Do you know what I mean? So like I'd say my defiancy of just wanting to prove people wrong.